Good afternoon, campers. Welcome to day 4 of Flower Camp. Today's session is a lunch and learn or a mid-afternoon break, or wherever you're watching from. Over camp, it may be morning or evening, depending if you're watching live or in replay. Welcome in. Hello, campers. Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, campers. Welcome. Hi there. Yes, we are live during the day today. Welcome in. Hi there. Hello, Christy. How are you? I owe you a response. It was a busy day yesterday. I had a work meeting, so I apologize. Yes, I took off today. How's everyone doing at camp today? Time to round up the campers. Welcome. Hi, Jeanette. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending when you're watching live or in replay. Thank you for stopping by, campers. Happy Wednesday. And it is day 4 of Flower Camp already. What? That's crazy, right? Oh my gosh. I don't know about you. I don't sleep well at camp. I had a terrible night of sleep. Might have been that churro cupcake. I'm not sure. That I may or may not had half of. I was up since 3:30 this morning, wide awake. It's crazy. There's lots happening around camp in the middle of the night, though. Welcome in, friends. Happy Wednesday. We're making a beautiful flower today. We are going to be making a mini flower for our lunch and learn here, or camp activity session in the craft hall. So thank you for coming by. I know some people may have had to leave camp to go to that pesky thing called work. I am off today. Camp counselor Julie has the day off. But I was up early here. We designed the flower. I went and had a massage for my arms and shoulders. And now we're here. And hopefully I'll have a camp social, and hopefully V can join us. I do need to text her later. Hi, Vanessa. So thanks everyone for joining. I know it's a midday tutorial, so thank you for stopping by. We are making a mini flower. We're going to stem it today. I'm using the colors that we used on Sunday. So if you missed our first tutorial, we made this gorgeous flower using our Flower Camp 2025 Template 10 mini flower. So I'm going to continue to use Template 10 mini flower today, and then we'll do another one on Saturday. Well, I'm glad you have a lunch break, Jeanette. Hi, Sandy. Welcome in. I know a lot of you may be at lunch, so thank you for stopping by. I didn't have lunch yet. And if I sound a little nasally, it's just because I had a massage and it works out my sinuses. So all is good here with Camp Counselor Julie. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started so I don't keep you too long. I did pre-ink a little bit, so I have some purple on my fingers. We're again using Flower Camp 2025 mini flower, and it's template 10. Okay, so this is the new one we designed for this year, just one template for 2025. You're going to cut petal 1, cut 3 at 3.5 inches, which is this shape. You're going to cut another one, a petal 1, at 3.25 inches wide. The heights automatically adjust. Petal number 2, you're going to cut 2 at 3 inches wide. Petal 3, cut 2 at 2.75 inches wide. Then your center number 2, cut 2 at 2.25 inches wide here. And we're using the same size of center 3 that we did on Sunday. Cut 2 of them at 6.71 inches wide by 0.9 high. You do have to unlock your machine, the image in your machine's design space. And then for our sepal, we're using petal number 2. You're going to cut 1 at 3.25 inches. Okay. So again, we're using the brand new template from Flower Camp 2025, template 10 mini flower. It is pinned at the, oh, let me pin it here in the comments. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh my goodness. I just walked outside, that's why too. So 1 second. And thank you all so much for the paper flower tool orders. I'm going to work on them right after we're done here and I have lunch. So if you want to join me in the mess hall for lunch. There we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is review our tools. We need our trusty SureBonder mini glue gun, and I like to use the 8-inch Gorilla Glue sticks. We need some floral tape. I'm using wire cutters. I already cut my wire, so I'm kind of okay with that. Excuse me. Needle nose pliers. We're using our peony plastic half sphere mold. An embossing stylus, slotted quilling tool, our piercing scoring tool, our metal ball stylus tools. Look, I kept it all pink today. A piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire, and you do need a larger piece for stemming. I cut mine in half already from my sample flower. Our flower shaping mats. And I'm going to use a piece of copy paper here to do our inking. The colors of ink are exactly the same as my flower on Sunday. So we're going to use some ground espresso. You can also use walnut stain. I flip-flop back and forth. Forest moss, and that'll be for our leaf, or sepal. Oops. Fossilized amber. And some villainous potion. Nice dark purple. And a little bit of seedless preserve for our sepal as well. There was something else I was going to get. Oh, the paper. I'm using boho rainbow cardstock and goldenrod, and cream is the main part of our flower. Okay, and then for the green, you can use the earth tone paper pad. Excuse me. Ooh, she got everything moving during my massage. Hi, Randa. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday, campers. Thank you for joining. We're making a mini flower today during our session here, our camp activity session. And again, we're using Flower Camp 2025 Template 10 Mini Flower. So for our sepal. I'm going to style that first. We're using, again, petal number 2 for that. We're going to bring in our flower shaping mats. I'm going to use the larger end of my embossing stylus. This is from your local Dollar Tree. And we're going to draw vertical lines to emboss or add some veining or texture to it. Hi, Erica. Thank you, Jeanette. Welcome in, Valley. Happy Wednesday, campers. Thanks for joining. We did go over the sizes, but we'll have it saved here. And I can post them later. Okay, so we just added some texture with our embossing stylus, again, the larger end. Now we can add a little bit of ink. So we're going to add some forest moss. Again, inking is totally optional. Up to you if you like to do it or not. And then I just brush out. Again, I want some color variation. I actually did some while this was on the mat, so we'll just go over it again. And then I like to add, again, you can use walnut stain, or this time I'm using ground espresso, circular motion, and I brush out. And again, you're going to be able to see the veining a little bit more. We're going to flip it over, circular motion, and brush out. And then I go around the edges with the brown. So start from the center, go out towards the tip, and then brush across the top. Okay? Go up towards the tip and go across the top. Okay, then we're going to start from the base and go up, come down the right side towards the tip of the petal. Hi, Bobby Joe. How are you? Welcome in. Happy day, campers. And we're going to flip it over and do exactly the same thing. So thank you so much for joining. We are at day 4 of Flower Camp 2025. Oh my goodness. The week is flying by. We're just adding a little bit of color to our sepal, and then from the base out towards the tip down the right side. I do it on both sides. Okay. Then we're going to add just a little bit of seedless preserves to keep our flowers consistent with what we made on Sunday. You can just randomly brush it on. We hope you're enjoying Flower Camp 2025. We will be having a camp social tonight, so I hope you can join us. The time is to be determined yet once I talk to my fellow camp counselor, V. Okay, so a little bit of purple. A little bit of fun. All right, so let's go through and style our petals. Ooh, Bobby Joe, awesome. So for petal 1, we're gonna style them all the same. And styling, or I'm sorry, like inking these is generally exactly how I did it on Sunday. Because again, I wanted to coordinate my flowers. Now you certainly don't have to do it the same way. So we're gonna use Villainous Potion, a deeper purple. Add some ink. I'm reusing my finger dabbers. Circular motion in the center. And then just brush out. Okay. Flip it over, circular motion in the center, and then brush it out. And I want it real heavy at the ends. Well, I'll ink around the edges, but okay, now we can add some ink. We start at the base, go up to the top and across the top. And then we go to our next petal. Inking this one's not too bad because it's only 5 petals per layer. So now we start from the center and you ink down towards the tip. And then you flip it over and you do exactly the same thing. I find this is the quickest way, is doing all in the same direction and then you come down the opposite side. Hey Nathan, welcome in. Hi Jennifer, welcome campers. Happy Wednesday. Surprise, it's afternoon, or depending where you're watching from. Here in PA it is the afternoon, so 12:50. Thanks for hanging out here. Made your way to the craft hall, right? Now we're going to add just that little bit of hint of fossilized amber again. So we are using template 10 mini flower, which is the flower camp version, not our regular template 10. So I just brushed a little bit of that yellow out. And I kind of go at an angle, like a wispy angle. So just brush, 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 brush. Okay, so that's how you style petal number 1 or ink it. Petal number 2, we basically go through that same technique. So we're going to take our purple Villainous Potion, circular motion in the center with your finger dabber and ink, brush it out towards the tip. Flip it over, circular motion, all right, then we go around starting at the base of the petal towards the tip. And you saw it, we're not using dowel rods today. What? Be sure to scroll through the page if you haven't followed, to make sure you're not missing any of the fun and shenanigans, the memories from last year. Oh gosh, that was funny. The one I posted this morning. Go out from the center towards the tip and across the top. Those were some good laughs. I miss my friends so much. Not being in person in Texas. Oh, it's hard. Oh, thank you so much, Christy. She loves the colors. Yes. Did anybody join Nathan at the pool yesterday? Hi, Stephanie. How are you? I don't know, I was gonna go take a dip in the pool on the campgrounds and hope you could join me, but it's a little cloudy. We're gonna add a little bit of fossilized amber, and I have to get your paper flower tool orders out. My campers are the priority right now. I had a little time to myself when I snuck off at campus. All right, petal number 3. Again, we do that same technique for the inking. So making this whole sample flower took me about 35 minutes this morning, and that was not knowing what I was going to do. Did anybody hear that camp counselor was roaming around camp this morning early at 7:15? Hi, Maria. Welcome in. Nathan loves all the laughs from flower camp. Absolutely. Present and memories as well. So what gossip are you all hearing around camp? Post it in the comments. We want to know. Because you know there's always some gossip happening. What's the news you hear? Nathan says any weather is good for pool weather except lightning weather. Preach. I am not going out if there's any dark clouds. Oops, we forgot to go around the edges. See, I got all excited about what kind of gossip you're hearing around flower camp. What's the news? Who's dating who? Who snuck out last night? Do we know? Word on the street, Nathan was in the pool yesterday. Christy's gossip is that camp counselor Julie is releasing 100 new flowers this year. Girl, we better hope I hit the lottery so I can work on that. Oh my gosh, no, we have not had a Bigfoot sighting. What is going on? The big news that I saw this morning that was happening, I almost had to save a bunny from the naughty cat that roams around the campground, Fluffy. Each morning she likes to stalk the bunny, and each morning I have to be ready to run out the door and save the bunny. No, I'm not releasing 100 flowers. Christy's starting rumors now. That's the gossip she heard. No Bigfoot sightings. Maria, what's the gossip at your part of camp? Right now we add a little bit of fossilized amber. Okay, we're just brushing it out on each petal. Gossip's been that camp counselor Julie was kissing someone behind the cabin. Oh my God. Wonder who that was. We don't tell. Oh, that is some news. I heard that too, Christy. Christy heard that I may be collaborating with someone and doing a corsage and boutonniere class. Wonder if that rumor's true. What do you all think? Well, Nathan, if we put it out in the open, and Christy, that I will be doing, we're manifesting that we're making 100 or releasing 100 new templates, then yeah. The vault is pretty full. So now for center number 2, circular motion and blend out. I love all this gossip you're hearing. Jeanette swallows a bug while taking a walk. That happens all the time. But isn't it crazy? Yeah, so be careful. You might need the bug spray when you're walking up here to the craft activity hall. Those pesky little gnats, I like to call them. All right, so for center 2, we circular motion blend out. Then we're just going to add a little bit of ink. I love all these rumors. I'm going to have to put these together. You have something up your sleeve that is going to be unique. Yeah, maybe, Bally. I'm not sure where was Bigfoot sighted, Nathan, so we can be careful. Now, I don't add any yellow to our center number 2. Oops, now we have to, and then our center number 3, only on one of them, we're going to add some purple. So I do, I start heavy at the base of the center. And this is the goldenrod color. This is mostly where I get the purple all over my hands. Hi, Donna, welcome. Hi, Sandra. Be sure to check back. We were just talking about what rumors is everybody hearing or gossip around Flower Camp. All right, once you have that, so it's about halfway up, I'm going to turn it on its side, and then I'm just going to blend it up towards the tip. Okay, we're going to flip it over. And we're going to do that exact same technique, so a little bit heavier at the base. Hi, Lorena, welcome in. Happy Wednesday, campers. So apparently the Bigfoot sighting was last seen. We're going to call him Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, shaking the vending machines and breaking the lock on the food pantry. That's the sighting we heard about Bigfoot at Flower Camp. The other sighting was somebody heard that Camp Counselor Julie was behind her cabin kissing someone. Oh my gosh. These rumors. Hi, Kate. Welcome in. I love your spunkiness here for our midday sessions, friends. Thanks for joining. The landscaping crew is off campus somewhere today. I'm not sure. They might be doing another job. It's pretty quiet right now here in the craft hall. So thank you again for joining. And for all of you who placed your paper flower tools, I'm going to be working on packaging them. Get them out in the mail. So once we're done here, and then working on your designs for tomorrow night's tutorial. Woo! Okay, and then just for the yellow one, we're going to leave it as is, but we're no inking on the most of the center. We're just going to do the tips with a little bit of purple. You just brush it on. So hold it along the straight edge and brush, brush, brush. Flip it over. I will not be joining anybody for a seaweed eating contest. Oh my gosh, no. on camera. So Nathan says he heard the landscaping crew or the ones who caught the camp counselor behind her cabin. Possibly, because there is a camera, we found out. Or not. So just be careful where you're walking, friends. You may be on camera. The landscaping crew enjoys being creepers sometimes, but no, just kidding. You did that at camp when you were younger, Maria, eating seaweed? Oh my goodness. So for our center 3, you're going to take a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire, place it down in the middle of the petal and pinch around. I do these individually. I don't do both at the same time. I never went to camp. Was there anybody else? Did you go to camp or not? We're pinching around our little petal with our piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. So when you cut off some pieces, when stemming your flowers, you simply, I just have a little Mickey or a Minnie Mouse pumpkin from Disney that I keep all my little pieces of wire in. She's so cute. So that must be a thing that you have to eat the seaweed? Was it salted at least or something? Now, if it's a pie eating contest, I might be there. All right, and now the same on the one we inked with our villainous potion. You're going to roll around each petal. Nathan says, I was in Boy Scouts, so I did that kind of camping, and now I'm scarred for life. I would be too. Oh my goodness, well that is some gossip around camp. Allie says she went to camp once, but they told my mom my brother couldn't go back, so she never let me go back either. I don't even know what he did, but it must have been good. We were like 8 and 9. Oh my God. Maria. Bigfoot is in the house? What? Tina! Maria swallowed too fast to notice the saltiness. Oh my God, stop it. This is not after dark. We're pinching around each petal. Thank you all for joining. I brought up what are the rumors around town or around camp. We want to know what the gossip is, because you know there's always one gossip person that knows everything that's happening. Tina! Welcome in. Happy Wednesday, campers. We are just rolling each of these little individual petals. So we're using Flower Camp 25, Template 10 Mini Flower. This is our new one, just one template for 2025. I use the same colors as our flower on Sunday on day 1 because I wanted to coordinate them. No Cheeto fingers here. It looks like I don't even know what I was in. Purple. Craziness. All right, so let's style all of our petals. We're going to bring back our flower shaping mat. So we have 3 a petal 1 at 3.5 inches. We're going to take our smallest metal ball stylus. So the smallest diameter ball at the end, or your dumbbell as Florist Explorer says. And I'm not using the embossing stylus. We're just going to use the smallest tip, and you're going to add vertical lines to shape the petal. When you use the embossing stylus over the ink, it does add lines. And I didn't want to see the lines in this instance, meaning it adds gray lines usually. So we're going to do that to all three. Probably shouldn't use a white mat with purple ink. Thank you so much. Loves the coloring. Our friend at 3 Chicks Design. Thank you so much for hanging out, Bally. It was my first experience with crafting. We painted elbow macaroni and glued them to a can. And there was your love of crafting from there on. Nathan's telling Tina we had some rumors. We were talking gossip here at Flower Camp, because you know that always happens. There was a rumor Bigfoot was shaking the vending machines and breaking the food pantry lock. Careful when you're roaming around, friends. Where you're just using the smallest metal ball stylus to add the vertical lines. This is one step of us shaping our petals. This is like our lunchtime gossip time. I feel like I was at work. We're going to take our 35mm peony mold, so they're written on the back to the right of each half sphere. So this one's wearing off. This is the 35mm. It's a second to large. So for all three petals, a petal 1 at 3 inches, you're going to use that mold. You're going to go right up to the edge and press it in there, and take one a little bit larger metal ball stylus, and you're just going to stir it. So it takes the shape of that half sphere. That's a big word. I know you don't want to, have some fun with the ink. I went outside of my comfort zone because it is Flower Camp, and I wanted to experiment and have some fun with some purple to get a little bit of a fall vibe. So now it's almost like the shape of a peony, but we're not going to be making a peony. We're going to take the 35mm again. You're going to go right up to the edge, press it in, and stir. And you're just going to work your way around with each petal. So for our inks, we use Villainous Potion Fossilized Amber on the petals. And it's a cream color from the Boho Rainbow Pack by Printworks DIY. And press it in there and stir. Tina says she was hungry. Oh gosh, I love all you campers. You're so much fun, and thank you for hanging out midday with us here at Flower Camp. You had 2 days to roam free all day and do what you want. Now we're going to petal 1, which is 3.25 inches. Again, take your smallest metal ball stylus on your flower shaping mat. Just add some vertical lines all the way across the petal. And if anybody wants to take a trip to Pennsylvania, I know I bring it up each class session, but I will be doing some live workshops, one on August 9th and one on August 23rd, where we're making a potted sunflower plant here in Pennsylvania. The first one's in Lancaster, and I want to set up the event or share the event again. And then August 23rd is right here locally in the Reading area in my hometown at Queen's Cafe. we're going to use the 35 millimeter one again. So it's the second to largest. Press it in and stir. So for petal 1, you'll just use all the 35 millimeter. So feel free to travel if you would like. All right, for our petal 2s, we're going to still, these are 3 inches wide. We're going to do our first step of using the smallest metal ball stylus. You add your vertical lines. Again, for some texture, we do that. We're not fan folding it this time. We're just adding some vertical lines. Chrissy, yes, we have a day session today and on Friday. Welcome in. So excited to have some of you here during the day. I love it. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your comments. The spirit, your camping spirit is fabulous, friends. It's amazing. So vertical lines down each petal. And now we're going to take our peony half sphere mold. And we're going to use the 30 millimeter, which is the second from the bottom of the largest ones. So go right up to the edge, press in, and you can still use that larger metal ball stylus. We just want it to have a little bit of shape. So it's a 2-step process. We're not using any dowel rods today. I heard if you leave out some s'mores and mixed drinks, it keeps Bigfoot from getting in the pantry. Good to know. Joke, what is Grizzly Bear's favorite food? Uh-oh, campers, look out. Jeanette. Well, thanks for all the gossip. If you hear anything else, let us know. All right, petal number 3. We have 2 of, wait, 1, 2. Yeah, this is petal 3. I'm losing it. We have 2 of them at 2.75 inches wide. We're going to again use our metal ball stylus, the smallest one, vertical lines. And that's just giving it some texture like you're veining on a leaf. And we're going to do that to both of those. Ooh, this is so pretty already. So you just step outside of your comfort zone, play with some of those colors. Like I just kind of look through my stash. And now for petal 3, we're going to use a 25 millimeter, which is the smallest on this side. And we're going to roll. So go right up to the edge, you press it down and stir. All right. Hope you're all having a great day at Flower Camp 2025. We are missing our camp counselor V at Forever Petals by V and our fearless camp director, Isaac Flores the Explorist. You are always here with us. And then for our center number 2, we're going to use our little piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. And I'm going to do it individually. You're going to pinch the petal around that wire. You can use a toothpick if you don't have any 18 gauge floral stem wire. Hi Terry, welcome in. It is okay. We are making a flower using Flower Camp 2025 Template 10 mini flower. This is the template we used on Sunday. And Monday and Tuesday we made some large flowers and incorporated our mini flowers as our center. And today we're back to a mini flower. Okay. And we're going to do that exact same thing again to our second center too. Thank you for joining. Has anybody been to the mess hall to see what they're making for lunch? Team Counselor Julie's getting hungry. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nasally. I did have a massage to work out my shoulders and my arms because they're very tight. So now I have sinus drainage. So you're welcome for that information. And then for our sepal, which is petal number 2, we just cut it in green at 3.25 inches. I am going to use the embossing style. I did use it on there, right? Yeah, we did add the embossing stylus. I'm like, did I or didn't I? I'm just going to go over it again. Doesn't hurt it. And then we're going to use the peony mold. We can use the 30 millimeter. Press it in and stir. Well, Michelle, that sounds delicious. Leftovers, pork tenderloin, and mashed potatoes. Nathan's allergies are bad also. Yeah, that doesn't help when I walk outside. But with her pressing on my sinuses, I normally get this. It's usually Thursday morning because I go Wednesday night. All right. Are we ready to assemble? So we're going to start with our slotted quilling tool. We're going to start with our yellow, all yellow with just a little bit of purple on the tips. With the roll facing towards you or up, you're going to thread one end in on your slotted quilling tool. Roll it a few times towards yourself. We're going to add some glue. And continue rolling towards yourself. You can see I'm kind of pulling it taut. And then keep rolling. And secure the end. Okay. So we're keeping it similar but different to Sunday's flower. Now, for the one with the purple, we are going to have the roll being under or facing away from you. So it's rolled under there. So we're going to add enough glue to make one rotation around or long or more. Go to where the last one ended and I overlap slightly. Roll it towards you and secure the end with hot glue. Now you can add some additional color, ink, maybe you want to brush on a little bit of the seedless preserves for 2 different color purples. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want. Maybe some brown. Hi Pat, welcome in. All right, we're going to take our 2 center 2s. We're going to roll them. So roll with your metal ball stylus right around where the petals meet the base to lift them up. We're going to add some glue to the bottom. And then you're going to go around that flat edge. And then you're going to fold those up Just be careful because we added glue along that flat edge. Press those petals around. Add your glue. And now I'm going to look at one of my petals and we're going to place it in between. So this guy went in between those two. Press them down and around. Fold them up. She's such a pretty center. Then we're going to take one of our petal 3s. So we're working smallest to largest. We're going to add some glue. Place it directly in the center. I'm going to flip it over quick just to see. And then we're going to attach one more, so you're going to roll the center on the back side or the underside. Add a little glue in the center, and now you can see exactly where you're going to add your petals in between the previous layers. So just keep your eye on one of them. This petal went in between those two. Fold it up and around. You can use these as a tiny little flower bud if you wanted to. Perfect. They're so cute. All right, so now we have petal 1 and 2 left. So these are your 2 petal 2s at 2.75 inches. We have a petal 1 at 3.25, and then we have a petal 1 at 3.5. This very last one we're going to flip over, and then we're going to put our sepal after that. All right, and then our 3.25 you're going to flip over because that's going to be assembled under as well. Okay, we're going to take our piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire, our needle nose pliers, place that wire in between your needle nose pliers, bend it around like a hook, place it back in your needle nose pliers, give her a squeeze to close the loop and straighten it out. Place it back in the needle nose pliers and bend it 90 degrees. Okay, now we're going to take our 2 petal 2s. We're going to use our piercing scoring tool from Dollar Tree. We're going to poke a hole in the center. Thread one on to the stem. On the underside of your wire loop, add a dot of glue and thread it through so it attaches. How we doing, campers? I hope you're enjoying Flower Camp 2025. Be sure to scroll back through the comments once we're done, because there is some gossip in there and rumors we're hearing around Flower Camp. What? If you missed any tutorials, they are saved here and they will be uploaded to YouTube. So now we are going to attach our flower center into the center here. You're going to add some glue. Well, normally I do it, I'm sorry, we probably should have done it on here. I'm sorry. Add it to the center here over top of that wire. Now we have double glue. Place the petals in between the previous layers. And we're going to let that dry for a moment. So many things happening around camp and I don't know about at night. Chrissy sneaks off in camp at night, doesn't she? She goes moonlighting somewhere. Chrissy says she's looking absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. Now we're going to thread our next petal 2. Isn't the purple fun? I'm loving it. All right, hold your glue gun and twirl, campers. Twirl that stem. Or you can twirl as well if you'd like. Thread the petals straight down in between the previous layer's petals. That petal one in between those two. It's easier to see it from the underside. Oh gosh, you could stop whenever you want to if you just need a smaller little flower. Now our petal 1 at 3.25, the petals are going to be under, so you're going to poke a hole from the top with the petals under. We're going to flip it over, roll the center where the petals meet the base, flip it back because we're going to thread it from the top. So they're going to be under. Okay? Again, we're going to add our glue, so hold your glue gun and twirl the stem whichever direction you want. Thread the petals in between the previous layers and press. She won't stay that flat. Now we're going to set out our petal 1s at 3.5 inches. Pierce your hole. So the very first one will be under, or the last petal that we attach. Thread on one of them that is curved up. Hold your glue gun and twirl. Thread the petals in between the previous layers. Okay, thread your next one on with the petals rolled up. Thread the petals in between the previous layer. And we'll fluff her out and shape her. And our last layer, the petals are rolled under our last petal. Hold your glue gun and twirl. Place the petals in between. So I'm pressing to make sure that glue adheres. And again, we're going to play around with the shape. And pierce our hole in our sepal with the petals rolled under. Hold your glue gun and twirl. Place the petals in between the previous layers and press. So we're just gonna let it sit for a moment. Bad girly, Chrissy. Thank you so much, Terry. All right, now we're going to shape her a little. I'm going to pull some of these out. Oh, she's so pretty. Now we're just going to add some floral tape. Pull to activate the glue. Start down here a little bit where we can grab it, pull it at an angle. I have to switch hands then. And you can see I'm pulling at an angle. We're going to thread it all the way up to the top. I might have to roll a few times. So it goes all the way up to the very top. Now you can continue twisting and pulling the tape. And lastly, I like to do is color my, to try and match my paper. It is pretty close. I just add a little bit of ground espresso. You can add some green. You can even add some purple. I think we did. And we will have some flower camp swag that is coming in after camp. And it will be very limited number of some of them, and it will, all proceeds will go to, I'm donating to Florist Explorers NV to pay for their expenses of traveling. So I am going to add a little bit of purple, and then we are done. Then you are free until tonight. So once we get a time for the camp social, once I text V later, and then I am going to work on shipping out your paper flower tools. So thank you again for all your orders. And there you have it. She is stunning. Here's my first one. So if you bring in your flower from Sunday, they all coordinate perfectly together. So I did do the same colors. Be so pretty in an arrangement, isn't it? Gorgeous. I love her. So it does have two different shapes. Similar yet different. So it's super fun. So you can add some leaves like we did on Sunday. But again, they coordinate. You can do different colors. I can't wait to see all of yours. And I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial for our daytime craft session. We will be back live tonight sometime for our camp social. And then tomorrow night we are back to 7:30. So I'm going to go design that flower. And Fridays. So thank you so much for joining and hanging out and sharing some gossip you're hearing around camp. I love hearing it. So keep it coming during our next sessions. So be on the lookout of what's happening or what you're hearing around town. And we will be back later for a camp social. Again, look, keep checking or be sure to follow so that you're notified when we do go live for a camp social. Thanks so much, my friends. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe, be creative, and have some fun. And remember, what happens at camp after dark stays at camp. Take care. Bye.